And if it weren't for that backyard in Queens, where else would we be standing? Many people often ask how our house has such great community. Well, I hope you get to see a small part of that answer here. You see, for 13 years, the men of Bonhoeffer have been coming here as a house to be in fellowship with one another. No matter the weather or how much homework there is, we gather together to share our lives in reflection of the great theologian Dietrich Bonhoeffer, always under the hospitality and guardianship of Dr. Stephen Salyers.
Wait!
Thanks to him, we've made this little backyard into our second home. And what is home without stories? Now, our story isn't as simple as I make it out to be. Few are. But you see, our values come from those that have come before us. There were these three guys, Greg Grabowski, Wyatt Baker, and well, you know what? I think I'll just let them explain.
It was Greg Grabowski. He founded the house in 2004. He was the quintessential King's student, passionate, pragmatic, but mostly Polish.
Yeah, Greg wanted to create a community where all people could flourish and unite the diverse students at the school, regardless of background.
It was because of his initiative that the house became what it is today, with a reputation of thinking outside of the school's norms, especially in house competitions.
Yeah, like there was this one time when every house had to sell their own calendars.
Ah, the calendar competition. That's where it all started, this tendency to think outside the box. You see, back then, whether it was attendance requirements or forgetting that credit sequences don't count, there was always some detail we seemed to miss. But sometimes, it was a detail that everyone else missed, and it didn't always make them happy. You see, back when the houses competed to reach the highest profit margin by selling calendars, Bonhoeffer spent all their funds on only one calendar. We didn't win, but we didn't care. We were the lovable losers. And since then, our ingenuity has balanced us on the edge of disqualification and victory.
Nonetheless, Greg developed our sense of discipleship.
Like when William Bradford saved half the student body from failing math in '06.
And when Ted Pintone became student body president, founding the King's Council.
Greg's example taught us to forge our own paths. He was foundational in forming our identity as individuals. And when he graduated, Wyatt Baker picked up the torch to guide the house.
He had dreadlocks and he wore cowboy boots as business casual. But like a good thing about Wyatt is he had this like huge heart for community.
Well, when he was homesman back in '08, he gave out paper plate awards recognizing the talents and the personalities of the guys in the house.
Yeah, and also Wyatt had this like huge sense of community. So whenever things were going bad, like we had hurricanes or we had class in the basement of the Empire State Building, or like even Ludlow.
Ah, Ludlow, our former prison-like home. To bring us together, Wyatt would organize Nerf wars, and, well, things escalated.
Get out! I'm out! We need air support! Charlie, don't leave me!
You alright? But Wyatt's dedication to the house did more than bring members together under a common dignity. He encouraged the guys to share that value of community with the rest of the school.
Yeah, his loyalty inspired a whole list of new student body presidents.
Matt Fillingame, Samuel Tran, Peter
He
Fleming,
made all these new clubs at King's too.
Matthias Klock, King's Debate Society, Jonathan Irwin, Mock Trial, Christian Stempert, King's Republicans, and Josh Insinius, who formed 10th, a school-wide worship service.
That's right, it's called Refuge now.
By the time Wyatt had graduated, his love and passion for community had spread through both the house and the school. Eventually, another brother followed in his footsteps with great gusto. James Benson.
Back when most of guys' housing was still in Herald Towers, James would go banging door to door trying to get people to join in house events, especially when there were girls involved. Are we ready?
Alright, boys. Oh, you ready to beat some ladies? No, not this time. No. Don't leave me!
What a brohopper James was. He was so determined to break guys out of their shells.
Like Charlie Freeman, whose chivalry and unending smile was an example for us all.
And Jeremy Heinen, whose creative vision helped sharpen the image of kings.
But James' steadfast tenacity kept us intact as a house. If it wasn't for James' love of the house, we wouldn't be who we are today.
From James, we knew that our success as a house was not defined by contests, but by our development in character. No matter what celebration or controversy, win or lose, we began to come out of competitions with courage, ready to tackle the next challenge. To this day, we hold the values and traditions of men before us, especially those instilled by Greg Grabowski, Wyatt Baker, and James Benson. Learning the cost of discipleship, experiencing the bonds of community, and having the courage to face trials, their aspirations resonate in our identity and mission as examples of excellent individuals that seek Christ together. I hope we've shown you a bit more about what makes our house our house. It's our identity, it's our traditions, it's our home. But most importantly, our house is about our brothers and the stories that they leave behind.